You are in for a real treat, folks. Welcome. It is Tuesday, July 14th, and today's session is really special because you have, as you can see, a panel of experts here. And what we're going to be doing today is responding to the questions and how-tos that you folks asked. So a huge thank you to everyone who submitted questions. We had so much fun going through the list and reading through your questions and responses. Now, today, we're not going to have time to get through every response that we got. We might save some of those for a future session. And what today's session is going to look like is we'll be taking you through some of the top questions that we were asked. And if there's time at the end, we'll be able to answer some additional questions. So I know as Carla was asking, you can be putting questions in the chat all throughout the session. And then at the end, we will come and revisit those and see what we have time for. So to introduce the panel today, I'm going to pass it over to one of my colleagues here who would like to introduce themselves first.
Hi there, Nathan Yaworski here, as always. Really excited to be here with you today and to dive into the questions that you folks are dealing with. Take it away, Lily.
Yes, so in the same team together with Andrew and Nathan, my name is Lily. We are part of the customer success team. Indeed, it's our honor to have three of us on today's session to answer to some of your questions. So enjoy.
And I'm Andrew Barclay, also a customer success manager and part of this awesome team here. And we're going to go right into it. So before I do that, a few housekeeping things. This session is being recorded. If you have questions, as I mentioned before, put them in the chat. We will get to as many as we can today. And then the replays, we do have a library of the previous AI Jumpstart videos. Thank you to someone who put that up here. You can click the link and access the library there. All right, so now I am going to just simply stop sharing, and then I'm going to pass it over to our very first question that we have here. Vibe
created websites. How does SEO and GEO work with it? Now, we got this question a lot from our submissions and also from just interactions with our own partners. We've heard it from other members of our sales team, and we're going to try and give a pretty high-level answer to this here. So let me just share my screen and take you into the Vibe that I've been working on. Now, some of you may find this familiar. This is the Canopy Kings tree removal service that I created a few, I would say last month, I guess, with Vibe to demonstrate some of its capabilities. But I didn't really do any work to optimize it for SEO, GEO, AEO. So for those of you maybe who haven't heard those terms before, I'm sure most of you have at least heard of SEO, search engine optimization. That's getting your business to the top results of a Google search. Now, SEO has been very important up to now, and it remains fairly important as well. But the other terms that I mentioned, GEO and AEO, are starting to eclipse it a little bit. The GEO being the generative engine optimization, and AEO being that ask engine optimization. So if you think of ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, that's your generative engine optimization. And if you think of the ask engine optimization, that's the AI that's built into search platforms like Google. So Google's AI search, that's your ask engine. And you want your business to be found in those results as well, because more and more, that's how people are searching. It's not enough to get in the top 10, not enough to get in the top 10 links on Google anymore. You need to be the quote unquote chosen one when it comes to which one or two or three suggestions AI decides to feature in its response. So you need to be thinking about AEO and GEO as well. So here we are in Vendasta Vibe here. Now I have the pro version for our test account here. That gives me access to fun things like being able to download my projects, being able to connect to the Supabase solution for that database repository. Anywho, today I'm going to take a quick look. It's a fine looking website on the surface, but there isn't a whole lot on the back end. So what I would like to do is address my SEO woes, and I'm just going to simply ask. I'm going to ask Vibe here to handle it for me. So I'm going to say something like, can you please optimize my landing page for the keyword tree removal service, including metadata and image alt text, so that my site is more visible to search crawlers. And let's see what it does. As always, Vibe is going to tell me what its plan's going to be for this. If it needs additional information, it's going to ask me for that prompt. If it needs anything clarified, it'll make the plan and it'll execute it. Now I'm interested to see, and we should be able to see how many credits this actually uses. If I look at my current credits right now, I'm going to make a note of them actually, because here, I'll just share this tab instead. If you want to know how many credits you spent, we go into In Business app, go to Administration, Credits, and your balance. So right now, I'm starting the day with only 409 credits used. So anything beyond that is going to be this here. So that's going to be interesting to see how many credits this request uses. So let's take a look at the plan. I will optimize your landing page for the keyword tree removal service to improve its visibility to search crawlers. Here's what I'll do. So it's going to update the metadata, the page title, the meta name description. It's going to update the hero section and subtitle text to naturally include the phrase tree removal service. The mission section, he's going to update the alt text to naturally include tree removal service. Pricing, he's going to add that keyword that I asked, and to modify the review intro text to add that keyword as well. This ensures that the keyword is placed in high-value structural areas, metadata, headers, alt tags, and body copy without feeling forced. And let's take a look. So he has done a nice job of adding the text that he said he would add. Now I'm not able to see the actual metadata on the back end here. I imagine if I was more adept at reading code, I would be able to take a look into this and explore that a bit more. I am not a developer myself, so I'm going to trust that Claude, or not Claude, sorry, I also work in Claude. I'm going to trust that Vibe has done this. And again, the site looks really good. So that's my SEO. That's going to help with my SEO. Now, one thing you might ask is, oh, can Vibe create backlinks for me? Unfortunately, Vibe cannot create backlinks for you. That's something you would have to do, manually. Make those community connections to do link sharing and whatnot. So it's not a replacement for a full service SEO solution, but it gets the basics done. Now let's talk about AEO and GEO. A big part of whether an AI search function can find a website and find a business is something called the robots.txt, which is a framework that's built into the back that makes it very readable for AI to be able to scan it. Now those can be set up either to make it very visible to AI or to make it harder for AI to scrape it. In our case, we're going to try and create a robots.txt that makes it easier. So I'm going to ask, can you create a robots.txt framework on the back end to ensure that my business is fully discoverable by AI search and and LLMs large language models for the uninitiated for the purpose of AEO and GEO. And as always, it's going to be preparing a little environment there. And we'll think as well. Let's see if those credits from my last request updated. I'm just going to quickly reload this for you. So I was at 409 before. Adding those SEO keywords only added about, what is that, 71 credits. So less than 1% of my monthly 25,000 credits have been used. So not a big lift whatsoever. You probably noticed that I'm doing these two jobs in different chunks. Vibe does a lot better with allocating the credits and spending the credits wisely if you don't try to tell it to do too much all at once. If I had asked it to create my SEO keywords and my metadata and my alt text and create a robots.txt in the same request for the AEO and the GEO, the net amount of credits would likely have been a lot higher because it's going to do a lot more thinking and prioritizing. So that's a little tip for you. If you're building in Vibe, especially if you're building a website, build it in chunks. Don't try to build a 5-page website all at once. Start page by page. That's our best practice there. Let's hop back to Vibe and see. We've got our plan here. I will create a robots.txt file in the public directory of your site. This acts as a backend instruction manual for web crawlers. I'll include general access, an allow rule for all standard search engine crawlers, Googlebot, Bingbot, AEO and GEO optimization, explicit allow directives for major AI, LLM, and Ask Engine crawlers. I'll specifically whitelist a whole bunch of these GPT, Gemini, Claude, Perplexity, and others, while the general covers most, explicitly naming these ensure they know their ingestion is welcomed. Sitemap reference, placeholder to a link to a sitemap XML. So he's set it up for me. Again, not something you can see on the front end, but it's going to help me quite a bit in getting found by those AI search crawlers. And full disclosure, I am not an AEO expert, an SEO expert. I barely knew what those terms meant 2 months ago, and I am certainly not a developer to create those. I conversationally asked Vibe to create it, and it did a fairly good job. Now, again, it's not going to be a replacement for a managed SEO, AEO, GEO solution where you have a team of experts actively working on it. But for those who don't have access to those kind of teams or don't have the time or the money to invest in getting upskilled in those areas, Vibe has got you covered for those basics. All right, so let's just do one last check on our credits here. I'm going to reload my page. So after those two, honestly, for me, fairly complex actions, I'm now at 544 credits. So if I'm doing my math right, 509, 10 plus 100. So 130 credits for what was a fairly complex, in my view, fairly complex request. So good job, Vibe. And that's all I've got for that question there.
Awesome. Thank you, Nathan. Always so informative, and thanks for breaking down the SEO and the GEO definitions quite well.
No problem.
Yeah. All right. Our next question. Passing it over to Lily.
Sure. All right. Question will be, can we send photos via SMS in conversations? The answer is yes, you can. All right. With the addition of Conversation AI Pro or Premium, you definitely can send photos or even PDF and videos via SMS. Now, what we can, before we go into the demonstration, I just want to highlight to you in terms of format, right? If you're sending the image, make sure they're in JPEG or PNG format and up to 10 megabyte or MB. Whereas if today you're sending a PDF file to your customer from Conversation, then you'll be up to 25 MB. Similarly for video-wise, very similar to the PDF file in terms of the size, is up to 25 MB. Okay, so all this will be aligned to your SMS provider in terms of the limitations of sending a file. So without further ado, let me go into a share screen mode to show you how you can attach your photos. Okay. Uh, there you go. A quick minute. Share.
And don't forget, folks, you can put questions in the chat.
Alrighty. So for example, if I'm working out from business app, I have purchased Conversation AI Pro or Premium for my clients. So your clients were able to go into the business app, go on the Conversations tab. Okay. Any of them that has an SMS, a contact that has an SMS, you can definitely send SMS in terms of videos, images, or even PDF. Take for example, I have do a test before I came in. I created myself as an account, all right, with the SMS. So what we can do is go into the account by itself. All right, you can then simply scroll down to the plus sign, the add file here, which is like just click on the icon. All right, you will, sorry, because I'm not sharing my full tab, you will then bring you to your library source. From your library source, you can then click on the picture, okay, which you're able to see from the screen now. All right, it's summertime, let's have some ice cream. So I have the picture here, and that's where you can then click on send. It will then send as an image to your clients. Okay, so that's how simple you can use SMS, rather conversation, to send forth SMS images, PDF, or video to your clients. Thank you. All right, back to you, Andrew.
Oh, that was so fast. All right, well, not just questions. If anyone has comments, if you're liking things, like put it in the chat. We actually love engaging with you folks, and it's really great for us to know. You can also go nuts with the emojis and the icons there. All right, so Lily, I'm going to keep you in the hot spot. We've got another question for you.
Alrighty, so is there a way to duplicate what I set up in one account to another? Yes, we have. All right. We in the system itself in Partner Center, you have the feature called account templates. So that's where you can duplicate accounts that you want to multiple new accounts, when you're setting them up. That will definitely reduce manual work for you or your team to set up the account that have similar in terms of features. So how are you going to do that? Let's go into our demo mode. Let me share my screen again. Okay, fine. Alrighty. So in Partner Center, for you to access account templates, we'll just go into accounts, all right? And you're able to see account templates here. So once you click on account templates, in the event you have already been using account templates to share the templates or duplicate the templates to many other new accounts, you're able to see a list of account templates here that you have used prior. So you're able to see based on, say, the Glow to Sport Corporate one, for this template that I just updated, these are the contents that I have set forth as a duplication to another account if I choose this template to be, right? Else, you can see any other templates is available here for you to duplicate into another accounts. So for example, if today I'm using back the first template that I have set forth, I can click on the three dots. One, you can immediately apply it to an account. Else, if you want to update it, you can click on update. Take for example, to set up the templates correctly or based on the features that you want to share the templates to a new account. So once we go into the update account templates, so you're able to see from here, these are the components that you can copy or duplicate the features into a new account. That will save you a lot of time. It can be AI employee to automation to marketing files, capability, campaigns, all that you can see. All right, this is all the components that you're able to copy over to a new account. That will save you lots of time. Based on any of the component here, you can click on any blank space. All right, you will then have a drop down. So it depends on the specific account that you're going to use as the mother template. For example, how many AI employees are there? All right, if, for example, because this is a demo site, we have lots of AI employee in this original template. So what we can do is you are able to then pick and choose which exactly employee you want to copy over to the new account. Okay, so you can just click on, say, any specific one that you want, right? Any employee. And for automation, all right, if today we have many automation here, you can then pick and choose which exactly are the automation that you want to copy to the new account. Okay, so for example, I'll choose another one. So after this, you can just go on to the list, pick and choose which other component you want. Once you're done with that, we can click on updates. All right, once update is done, we're now ready to copy over. Okay, so this is done. All right, with what we have just updated, you can then click on apply template. From apply template, all right, you're able to see these are the component. We will then want to choose the specific account that you have set forth on the platform to apply this template into. Okay, so for example, I have just set up the Perfect Cup Cafe as an account in Partner Center. I want this template to be applied to this account. I will basically choose the account and click on apply. All right, so we just let the system do the work. So once the application is ready, we can just go back to the account page just to see whether it has been applied successfully. Like for example, we can go into Perfect Cup Cafe, and we can open in Business App, which I need to share the tab with you. All right, so once we went into Business App, all right, there are various in terms of feature that we have copied into. I think one of the fastest way we can see is form, take for example, okay? And once you click on form, you can see this other form that, from the template we have copied over to Cafe. All right, so there are multiple things. Even you go into AI, all right, you're able to see all the capabilities that we have copied in from the original templates. So that's how easy you can use the account templates to duplicate the components into the various accounts that you created. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Lily. Can we get some emojis for Lily? She had 2 questions.
Thank you.
Dude, thank you. All right. Remove this one. So the question here that I'll be answering, I noticed when I reply to reviews or schedule a social post, the response from the AI employees is much different from what I get directly from ChatGPT. Is there a way to prompt both to give me a response similar to that of ChatGPT? Well, the good news is yes, there is. Now, I don't know about you folks, but does anybody else have an AI agent or AI resource that you get really attached to that it feels a bit hard to think of finding something else that you might like or wanting to go put effort somewhere else? Be like, but I've got this agent, I've gone or agent. It's so good. Well, the good news is though, we can now create that in other forms and be like, okay, I'm going to bring that appreciation and that talent really into something else that I'm creating here. So I'm going to share my screen and my reviews. All right. Well, the first thing that I want to showcase here is under the AI workforce. So each of the agents that would be responsible for, in this specific question, the reviews as well as the social media products would be both inside of the AI workforce here. So I've changed my icon name. So Sophia is the reputation specialist here. And so when you click on the configure button, again, we have set up all of these agents to be able to deliver and execute on the job that they've been assigned to do. And there's ways that you can configure all of them. So you'll see here the role, the generative AI, and really the role is where its behavior and its guidelines. And then the capabilities is generate review responses. So in here is where you're going to see a lot of information actually specific to the reviews. So one thing you can do, this is a lot of work, and I'm sure a lot of you that are seeing me really quickly scroll through all this and how small that icon is wow, that's, I actually, hold on, I might just turn off the overlay just so you can see more of what's in the bottom part of my screen. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff in here to configure. So what you're able to do specifically with this is if you've ever created, a brand voice or tone guide, you can upload that as a knowledge source. So while you can go in and generate, you can edit what's inside of the review responses here, I'd recommend first starting with adding a brand tone guide. You can do this as a PDF. You can do it as a website, as text. Like the great thing about the platform is that the information that you have about your business that's entered in here, the AI agents are going to those sources to be able to understand who your business is and who you are and be able to respond from there and with that knowledge. And then from that, you can play around with this. So right now with Sophia, I did this earlier, was I made up, a 1-star review here for the business. This is really long, I know. But I took this and said, you know what, I'd like you to come up with a response for this. And so this is what Sophia was able to come and respond to. So this is where I gave it the brand and the tone guide and said, come up with a response here. And I really liked the way that this then reflected, Up in Smoke Inc. I think this would do Norma Bland proud, who is the owner of this business, and gave a really powerful response to this review. Because if you folks were here last week, I talked a little bit about this in reviewing your reviews. In responding to negative reviews can also be more powerful than just responding simply to 4-star and 5-star reviews. So I loved what Sophia wrote here. So this is where I could copy this and then go paste it inside of the actual Reputation AI tool, which I will share this tab here. And then the other great thing is that with the Reputation AI premium edition of the product, I can set up Sophia so that she could actually automatically respond to Google and Facebook reviews that come in that I wouldn't have to, I'd basically be reviewing her work instead of having to come and manually see everything and then get her to go with that. The other thing inside of the Reputation AI platform, when you come into it under reviews, you can use the AI tool here to suggest a response. And this will also give you a way, if you're not quite sure that you want to let Sophia go on her own, you can use the suggested response here. And I'm using a different business name than this. And then this is the response that can be generated here. I'd be able to edit this as needed. And I would just say anytime that you need to edit the work that the AI agent has done, consider that an opportunity to go educate it. To say, oh, it was missing something and I wish it would say this. This is where you could add it to the brand tone voice, or you could go right back into the capabilities and configure it there. And if you need help doing that, you can use an AI tool such as your ChatGPT to be able to upload that correctly. Now, the same thing applies to, I think I saw Carolyn Matthews was, this is for you, so you can lean in a little bit closer, Carolyn. You were asking about the new AI agents that we have. Well, to give you a little bit of a sneak peek, this is currently live inside of your platform. So you folks could go in and upgrade your social marketing tool that's now been renamed Social AI, and you could upgrade it to Social AI Premium and get access to both the Social Media Manager and the Blogger here. This is where I thought the icons and the emojis would just be going bananas for something like this. So with the Social Media Manager, you do the exact same thing. You can come in and configure this agent here with its capabilities. Now, since this is something new, this is a new tool that we have out here. So try it out first in the very same way that I was showing the Reputation agent. They've got Nano Banana 2 as the AI image generation here. So once you've got that active here, where you can find their work is you will come right into the Social AI product here. And you're going to see that the Social Media Manager, based on her configurations here, has come up with a whole bunch of posts. Now, disclaimer, we are going to be doing a larger public webinar about this. So if you're like, whoa, what is this? You're blowing my mind. I really want to know more. You can go in the platform. Rashida put a bunch of links inside of the chat here. So go back and have a look at those links, open them up in, in one of the many tabs that you probably have open that you can review later. And so you're just going to see then the drafts that have been scheduled here. or sorry, just drafts there. Nothing is scheduled. You're going to see who it made it. So the Blogger agent made it here. And then you're going to see what exactly they came up with. So for the Blogger tool, for example, as I mentioned with the reputation agent, they are looking at the business information that you've provided to understand you. And specifically with the Blogger, they're also doing research of the industry that you or your clients are in to be able to come up with content like this. I really love the Blogger. I think this is so cool that it's come up with all this stuff that can be ready for you to be posted on your page. So if these agents need refining for your brand voice, and that, again, you're going to come back to your workforce. You're going to select your agent that you want to configure and make sure that you then either configure the capabilities section here, or even the knowledge sources. I could add this here, right here, and have that available for them. Great. So stay tuned on these two agents coming soon. But I guess another option would be if there are other than prompts after you've done all of this and said, you know what, it's not quite the same way as my agent is, you could go into your AI tool and ask it to come up with its own learning tools or script that you could provide to upload somewhere into the capabilities as well. Yeah. All right. Well, that concludes the main questions that we wanted to answer for you folks. So I'm going to stop sharing this. So now I'm going to turn it over to the audience Q&A.
Okay, I'll jump right in here. I saw a couple regarding Vibe that I'd love to address. First off, Shane asked, if we build a site in Vibe, do we host there with an upgraded Vibe account to the assigned domain, or do you export it to a hosting site? This is a really good question, Shane. When you're building in Vibe, the site or the project that you're building is fully hosted in Vendasta's managed infrastructure. So when you're publishing a project, Vibe takes care of the deployment, the SSL certification, the hosting, the global CDN setup. It's live right away, and you don't have to worry about managing servers, updating software, configuring CDN. Now, the logical extension of that question, can I export a site from Vibe that I have built and put it somewhere else? On the Vibe Pro edition, you do have the ability to export your project, whether it's a website or a dashboard or what have you, as a zip file. It gives you the static site assets for allowing self-hosting elsewhere or for backup purposes, but please note, this is going to be a static export. So it's HTML, it's CSS, it's images, but any dynamic background features, the AI chat that maybe you're building in, or your CRM integration, or any server-side forms that you've built out aren't automatically going to transfer. So you'll need to set them up on your new host before it will be fully up to date. If you ever do need to move your site, it's always just a good idea to review the exported files for any features that might need that custom migration or replacement outside of Vendasta's managed environment. So great question there, Shane. There's another one from Eric. And Eric, I'm gonna call you out here. There's no such thing as a silly question, so don't worry. Once a Vibe coded website is live and published for public viewing, how does a website owner make edits to the site? The short answer is they would come into their business app, they go to Vibe, they go to that project, and they would chat with Vibe to make the updates that they want. So you got it right on the hit the nail right on the head there, Eric. They're going to go into Vendasta Vibe and they're going to make those changes. I did see another question, and maybe I'll let someone else hop in here, but I think it's an important one from Shane. Is how important is your AI setup package and the monthly maintenance programs, our managed services? Is that crucial if you're wanting to sell AI? Does anyone want to take that one? I'm happy to stay on it as well, but thought I'd share the love.
Sure, I can take out the question. So Shane, in the marketplace, you're able to find, we have the AI package, all right, which is the optimization package, where our back end, or rather our Vendasta services team, will be helping you or your customer to optimize the AI employee accordingly. How important it is, especially in terms of if today your hands are tight or your customer hands are tight, they have lots of things to change. For example, updating automation, updating the capability of the AI agent to many more. All right. So these are time that is required to update the agent. But if today you purchase or activate the AI optimization plan, our team will be the one that will do all the heavy work for you in terms of just tell them what the automation that you like to build, what are some of the changes that you like to make to the AI agent. That's where the team will be there to help you. So it is a 12 months in terms of package, right? You can basically, once you have this activated, you are always welcome to reach out to our Vendasta services team to do all the changes for you or your clients.
Oh, you're muted, Nathan.
Nathan, we can't hear.
Sorry. That just to reiterate what Lily said, she hit the nail right on the head. The biggest factor as to whether it's worth it is how much time do you or your clients have to dedicate to the maintenance and the upkeep of the care and feeding of your AI, so to speak. Because building a prompt, for instance, is not a one and done. There's always going to be iterations you're going to want to make, maybe questions that you didn't anticipate that come up, or circumstances that it doesn't handle super well. And our team helps with that optimization down the line. So if you're willing to take that work on yourself as an agency, or your client's really gung-ho, maybe you don't need those setup services, but they are there to take that load off you and your clients. Really great answer, Lily.
Okay.
And then I think we have time for one more question here. From Michael, I don't see any info in the marketplace. Read a social and blogger employee. What is its named, or is it not there yet? Correct me if I'm wrong, folks. I believe you would be looking for Social AI Premium. Social marketing has been rebranded to Social AI, and those two employees exist in the Social AI Premium edition.
Mm-hmm. Bingo.
Awesome. All right. I think that's all we're going to have time for today. Andrew, do you want to tell us what is on the horizon?
Yes, coming up next. So this Thursday, we do not have a sales and strategy session. So if you had some time blocked in your calendar, I recommend going to the YouTube playlist and looking through a session that you haven't attended to and have a look at that. Though next week, wrong button. Next week, Lily is going to be taking us through Build a Website with Vendasta Vibe live. Very similar to what Nathan showed today, but the entire session is going to be on that. I don't know if you want to say anything about what you'll be doing in that session, Lily, or whether it's you have to show up and find out.
I would say show and find out more. Is something related to the summer.
Love it.
A product relating to the summer. All right. Just come back tomorrow, next week, and definitely register for the webinar.
Oh, amazing. Oh, and actually, let's get do we have the link for that?
Registration link. Let me just see here. I don't. That's so silly. Let me find it here. Vendasta.
We'll get it up for you. But while Nathan's looking for that, so the other announcements, as you saw, we've announced Social AI. So the upgrade from social marketing, Social AI is now available. It's been rebranded. There's a premium edition available, which has the 2 AI agents that you saw me demonstrate earlier, which was the social media manager as well as the blogger. So you will need to upgrade to the premium edition of Social AI in order to access those employees. So feel free to explore, play around with that. As I also mentioned, Rashida put some great resources in the chat, so you can check out our website for more information on those 2 agents and the upgrades to the product. Go into the marketplace and have a look, and then keep your eyes posted for a live webinar that our team will be doing to do a deep dive into the upgrade to Social AI as well as the 2 agents that are there. Really excited about this. There we go. And so this is where you can register for the session that Lily is hosting next week, July 21st, 1 p.m. Eastern Time. So thank you so much for joining us live today. This was so fun. Thank you to everyone that's watching the recording, and we will see you next week.